Hey guys, welcome to Mara's Juncture. I am Mara, and today we're going to be doing my. Wait, let me make sure my mic is on. Okay. Today we're going to be doing the end of the year tag. So I seen this tag on our girl Brendy's video. She just recently did it, so I will also tag her down below so you guys can go check out her end of the year tag as well. So yeah, if you see me looking down, I have my iPad because I have the questions on my iPad, but then I answered all of the questions on my planner. So yeah, if you see me looking down, that is what I am referencing. Yeah, I got all the questions from Brand D. So let's get into it because we have 22 questions. And so, yeah, but before we get started, y'all, look at these pink contacts. I absolutely love them. I got these from Miss Lynn's, MISLENS. I will leave the link or information down below. I did do a short on me trying on these lenses from them. So I'll put my code and stuff down below if you guys want to order a pair and get some coins off. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's get into the tag. How can we do this to make it easier for myself? Okay, I'm trying to get situated in a comfortable manner, but it's not comfortable at all. How about let's just take my iPad out of its case and just put it in here. Okay. So the first question is most disappointing book of the year. Ciao. My most disappointing book of the year was Luster. And the books that I will be speaking of are books that I've actually read. So none of these books I DNF'd. I mean, there are some books that I DNF'd this year, but I didn't want to include them because if I did not read the entire book, like how can I accurately, rate them or like give my opinion on it. So these are books, the books that I mentioned are books that I've actually read and did not DNF any of these. So question number 1, most disappointing book of the year. Yes, would have to be Luster by Leilani. I can't stand this book. I really have nothing nice to say about it besides the cover is fire. That's the only reason why I read it, because the cover is fire. And the fact that Obama had this on his most favorite books list is kind of concerning because Obama, what? Like, I will say I do like her writing style. So if she were to write another book, I would read it. But I did not like this book. Like, I did not like it at all. Not even a little bit. The only thing good about it is the cover. Number 2, Underdog Book of the Year. I feel like these questions are so hard to answer because there's so many of us, so many different reading communities. All of us have different tastes. So it's just like, what justifies it being an underdog? But Underdog Book of the Year, for me, I put Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver, I think. I don't have the book on my bookshelf, but that is one that I do need to put on my bookshelf because I absolutely love the cover. And so Neighbors and Other Stories I will put the books on the screen so that you guys can know exactly what book I'm talking about. But Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver, I think is her name, but she passed away. And then The Accomplice by 50 Cent. I feel like both of these books were really good, but I don't hear too many people speaking of them, so that's why I consider them underdogs. But in another book community, I don't know, chat, maybe I'm just thinking too much as I always do, but those are the 2 books that I consider to be underdogs that I did thoroughly enjoy reading, but I just feel like not many people talk about them. Next one, a book that was overhyped. It would have to be Queenie by Candace. I don't have that on my bookshelf, but I do have her other book, People. I have her other book, People Person or something, up there somewhere. So I would say a book that was overhyped was Queenie and Honey and Spice. People talk about those books all the time and that they love them. Queenie is up there with Luster. The only reason why I didn't put Queenie next to Luster as most disappointing because At least in Queenie, she seeked therapy. Like, she got the help that she needed to overcome what she was going through. So I did appreciate that because, yeah. So Queenie, Overhyped for me, because how did y'all like that book? Like, she was spiraling the entire time, and she was giving me real bad anxiety. And Honey and Spice, I do have that on my bookshelf. I was just talking to well, we weren't having a conversation about it, but Brendy, I think she said the same thing. Like, I listened to it on audio, and the narrator just was not cutting it for me. It wasn't her accent. Like, I'm not a person really into audiobooks anyway, unless it's nonfiction audiobook. For some reason, I struggle with listening to audiobooks when it comes to certain fiction books, especially because if you put too much if there's too much going on in the fiction book, I need to digest that in my own voice and my own reading pace. And I just feel like narration doesn't do, like, I just start to get lost. So me and the narrator of Honey and Spice was just not getting along. And so I don't know if I should have included this, but I am, because it just did not live up to the hype. But I'm going to reread it in my own voice and see if it lives up to the hype. But so far, Queenie and Honey and Spice will have to be book that was overhyped. Number 4, favorite book couple, hands down, Caprice and Sean from Fast by, where is the book? By Millie Belazar. I don't even know if I keep saying her last name right, but baby, if you keep seeing me look over here, it's because I'm looking in the viewfinder to be sure that the cover is in frame. But Sean and Caprice, hands down, favorite couple of 2024. Favorite main character. Favorite main character is Phoebe Dolores Brown from Yellow Wife by Sadika Johnson, because she's inspired by the real life Mary Lumpkin, and phenomenal book. She's just such a graceful woman in the way she handled her situation. Very transformative and phenomenal. Okay, a book that surprised you. I put A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. I believe, I don't have that book on my bookshelf, but I believe that is the author's name. But once again, it will be up on the screen for clarification. So A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. I don't even know what made me read that book or what made me pick it up, but when I read it, I was blown away because it's a generational book. It follows a mother, the daughter, and then I think it followed 3 women, so the daughter, the mother, so it was 3 generational women. And for some reason, I eat up generational books like that, whether it's male or female. I don't know why, but it's going to eat for me every time. So that book blew me away. I could not put it down. And then You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. And I don't remember the author's name, but I was taken aback. That book was real messy, but it was tolerable. Like, I feel like some people will put Luster Queenie and You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, like, in that same type of aspect of, like, the vibes that the book were giving, because she was spiraling too and You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. But it wasn't, I think the cultural references, the food, the vibe of, like, the plot. Well, yeah, I don't know. Something about the vibe of the book made up for the mess in the book. Because I don't like mess like that. Like, the way she was spiraling in that book, I don't like that type of mess. But for some reason, I think the author did a good job with, like, the cultural references in the book. And it made me feel like I was there, or made me feel like I wanted a plate of Jamaican food or a plate of African food. So I think that's what made up for the mess. But both of those books, like, shocked me, because I go into all of my books blind. So a lot of books do shock me because I don't read synopsises. But yeah, those are 2 that, like, shocked me the most. New favorite author you discovered this year. Hands down is, where's my other favorite book? It would have to be Ashley Poston and S.A. Cosby. These are two authors that I literally had, once I read one book from them, I had to complete their whole catalog. Like, I was on a mission to complete their catalog. So it's S.A. Cosby and Ashley Poston. And I discovered both of them this year. Happiest read of the year is The 7-Year Slip. I don't know why, y'all. And I keep like low key. It's like I be scared to make this my favorite book. And I don't even know why, but this book eats for me. This book eats real bad for me. And it was one of the it made me happy. Like, this book like brought sunshine to my life. Like, I love it. Next, most frustrating book of the year. Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Queenie and Lester. Best adaptation of the year. I didn't really read too many books that do have an adaptation. I have not read. When did I read? Oh, I read that last year. I was going to say, yeah, I didn't read because I didn't watch Queenie, so I can't say Queenie because I turned the first episode on, then I turned it right back off because I just wasn't in the mood to be back in Queenie's world, especially. I didn't want to see her spiraling on TV. Like, absolutely not. So for me, I put Death Note. Death Note, I don't even know the author's name, but it is a manga, and then they have the anime and live action on Netflix, and chef's kiss. Thank you to my girl Gaia. My girl Gaia put me on. No, I didn't read that. Okay. Longest book you read this year. The longest book I read this year was The Reformatory by Tananarive Du. Is that how you say her name? Yeah, the longest book I read this year was The Reformatory by Tananarive Du. I love her name, but it's just so hard to, like, I can't remember if I'm like saying it right or not, but Tananarive, like, it's such a fun name to say. Okay, the shortest book I read this year was Work Husband by Octavia Grant. Right here. Unhinged book. Like, I love her content. I love her work. She's great at what she does. And the fact that she's able to make such a great story in such short amount of pages is phenomenal. But this book made my stomach hurt real bad, and I have not been able to pick up another book from her since, because she is like hands down the most unhinged author that I've ever read from. Like, oh, child, if you know, you know. How many pages is in this? It's a total of 63 pages, but the story stops at page 62. Maybe. She's unhinged. Favorite book covers, I put The Neighbors and Other Stories. And so these clearly are books that I actually read. I tried to stay in the realm of books that I actually read in 2024. So out of all the books that I read in 2024, Neighbors and Other Stories by Diane Oliver was one of my favorite book covers, and Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose, I think that's her name. That cover, bro, she ate with that concept. Like, the cover of the book being a VCR tape, and then you could slide it in the tape cover. Like, girl, she ate real bad with that. Creativity on 1,000. Favorite book cover. Okay, a book you haven't stopped thinking about. I put so many. You can't just tell me to pick one. I've never been the type of person. Like, you ask me what my favorite cover, my favorite color, my favorite food, my favorite music, anything my favorite, I cannot just give one. So a book I have not stopped thinking about this year. So I put Fast by Millie Belizaire. I put The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I put A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. Heavy by Kiese Lemon. I keep saying it like that because if you guys listen to the audiobook, then you'll know there's a part of the book where someone has said his name like that. So Heavy by Kiese Lemon. The Color of Water by James McBride. The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Real by Kennedy Ryan. Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson. And Work Husband by Octavia Grant. So these are all the books that are like live rent free in my mind, or they impacted me some way, shape, or form where I just could not stop thinking about the book. Okay, what's the next one? Cringiest book you read this year? Y'all already know what I'm going to say. Luster. Unpopular book that you love. I put Maktub by Paulo Coelho. I don't even know that's how. Paulo Coelho. I love his books, and I absolutely love this book. And I mean, it could be a popular book maybe like in his country, but here, I mean, and a lot of people that follow me or people that I follow are fiction readers. So in my realm, this is an unpopular book that I love. Okay, next. Highest and lowest book you read on Goodreads. Do you agree? I don't have Goodreads, so I'm not able to accurately answer that question. Favorite quote of the year. I didn't really document any quotes, but when I read Keke Palmer's book, Master of Me, Tyler Perry, she had a segment in there, and Tyler Perry said, build for where you're going, not where you are. And that hit me real bad. Build, and this is like not verbatim, this is just like me paraphrasing what he said. You'll have to go read her book to see specifically what he said, because I listened to it on audio. But he said, build for where you're going, not where you are. Still sticking with me. Okay. Book with the most unique concept. Book with the most unique concept. So I put Real by Kennedy Ryan because it was 2 point of views. It was Canon and Neve. And then Desi Blue is so it's a point of view of Neve, the point of view of Canon, and then it also cuts to a movie script because she is going to be portraying the artist Desi Blue in the movie. And then the fact that it cuts to like the book and then the movie script, phenomenal. And then the audio book is a whole production. When I say a whole production, I mean you have to experience the audiobook. So, and then next I have The Madness by Jarrell Phillips. I don't have the physical copy, but I think I love the creativity of the book, because creativeness of the book, because it's like the book is told by this crazy narrator, and the book, it needs to be like there's typos, but then it's like it's almost the typos are supposed to be there, and I don't know if he did that on purpose or not. And then the short stories are all interconnected as a mystery for you to figure out who the narrator is. And then it cuts to the scene of him talking to his therapist. Then there's poetry. Like, he ate with that book. And then next, I put, oh, it's right here. Hold on, let me see if I can move this out the way. Next is Ring Shout by P. Dejeli Clark. Baby, the plot twist, phenomenal. Like what he did with the KKKs. Yeah, so we have Real by Kennedy Ryan, The Madness by Jarrell Phillips, and Ring Shout by P. Dejeli Clark with the most unique concept. Book I would reread would have to be The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Of course, there's other ones I would reread, but for the sake of like me trying to pick one book, I just picked The 7-Year Slip because I absolutely love that book. Okay, next is Reading Goal Reflection and 2025 Reading Goal. Reading Goal Reflection. So my reading goal for 2024 is I wanted to be in community because my whole life I've been an isolated reader. I've never tracked my books on like an app to be able to like have a community on there to connect with other readers. I've never been a part of a book club. I did create a book club with one of my friends, but we didn't get far with that, so we were not able to build the community that we wanted. And so I've never been in community with other readers. I've just always been an isolated reader my whole entire life. And so for 2024, I just wanted to be in community. I did also make a goal to track my books, which I failed miserably with that. And yeah, so I did for 2024, I did create like a nice community. Like I absolutely love you guys. I made some amazing friends, bookish friends, and now I just can't wait to meet some of y'all in person. In my 2025 reading goal, I do have a separate video for that, so I will link that video if it comes out before, I don't know. But anyway, somewhere the video will be linked. And then, or I don't know, but child, I have a separate video for my 2025 reading goals. And then the last question is, what are you prioritizing in 2025? It doesn't say specifically is that related to books, but I'm sure it is because we're here to talk books. So for prioritizing in 2025 would be to read the books on my bookshelf. I need to read. I need to put a very, 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 very big dent in reading the books on my bookshelf so that I'm able to unhaul a lot of these books, because I do want the books on my bookshelf to mean something to me. I want the books that I want to reread, or books that I want to save for my children. So I wouldn't say like, it's not that certain books wouldn't deserve to be on my bookshelf that are good. It's just that I only want books on my bookshelf that actually have a place in my heart. So that is what I am prioritizing in 2025, is to put a very big dent in the books on my bookshelf that need to be read so that I can unhaul and rehaul, balance. But yeah, so that is the 2024 book tag. So yeah, if you made it this far into the video, I do thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and lock in with your girl and subscribe, because it's nice and chill over here. Go ahead and leave me some love down in the comments. What are you prioritizing for the year of 2025 as far as like when it comes to reading? And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video.